I'm trying to do a little bit of catching up right now. Today will just be focused on me just going system to system, exploring, scanning that which I think is worth scanning, and moving on to the next one. And I'll try to explain, my thought processes behind, what I'm scanning, what I'm not. For those of you who are interested in doing any kind of exploration in Elite Dangerous, I'd highly recommend you watch my previous episode. The previous episode of the Distant Worlds Expedition was very focused on how to explore all the facets. It also kind of gave a quick overview of the user interface. And if you haven't played Elite Dangerous at all, then I'd highly recommend you watch my bonus episode that I did last Saturday. Last Saturday, I fired up my secondary account on Elite Dangerous, and I actually started the game from scratch. So brand new Sidewinder, 1,000 credits, no progress, no nothing. And so if you're interested in that kind of thing, you should definitely check that out and look into that. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a lot of good information there. Elite Dangerous is an amazing game, so I'd highly recommend everybody pick it up. Really quickly before we get started, just want to go over all the usuals. So, of course, I do this stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mondays and Wednesdays are at 8 p.m. Fridays are at 2 p.m. And occasionally I'll have a bonus episode on Saturday. I try to keep those posted on the forums. You, of course, can check out our forums at forums.spacepotatoes.com. It's right up there. And there you'll find all kinds of cool information. I post up thoughts and so forth on the games that I'm playing through, because I'm doing my normal I'm playing through my Steam library. I've got a ton of games I'm trying to get through. I'm not playing them beginning to end. I'm just kind of playing them for a few hours, getting a feel for them, and then deciding whether or not I want to put in additional time. Once I've gotten a bit of time into here, and maybe after I've finished the Distant Worlds Expedition, I might go through and put in a little bit more time in some of these other games. I kind of come back to them, some of the ones that I definitely want to play more. And that way you can kind of see as the game progresses a little bit more, and so forth. But right now I'm mainly focused on the Distant Worlds and just continuing the playthrough my Steam Library series. Now, unfortunately, I do have a little bit of bad news. I will not be able to do the Friday stream this week. I've unfortunately had kind of an emergency come up. I'm going to have to go out of town tomorrow, so I will be rescheduling Tomb Raider, which was originally scheduled for Friday at 2 p.m. this week, to probably move it to another time, maybe next week. I might do it as the bonus episode next week instead, and I apologize about that. Unfortunately, I just couldn't get out of this particular situation. So I will we'll be doing that, and of course, feel free to pay attention to the forums, monitor that. All of my streams will be announced there. The schedules are announced there, and then of course, like I said, my thoughts and so forth on the game and everything. So, anyways, to Elite Dangerous. So I have just jumped into a system. I've already got a route plotted that I'm following along. So now that I've jumped into the system, I've already done a little bit of fuel scooping, and so now I need to look at scanning the system. So after I've done the little discovery scan, I'm going to bring up my system map. Take a look at this. Let's see what we got here. What do we got? One of the neat aspects about this game is this game, there are so many systems and so many places to go in the game that the likelihood of finding a system that's already explored by somebody is actually pretty rare, unless you stick to highly traveled paths. And I kind of go over that in the previous episode. So if you have any questions about that, I'd recommend you take a look there. But the nice thing is it's really easy to tell if the system's already been scanned. I can just hover my mouse over here, and as you can see, every single one of these say explored now or unexplored. That typically just means unexplored by you, but if it had been previously discovered by another commander, there would actually be another line underneath explored that says first discovered by blah blah blah. So no one else has discovered this system, so I'm very likely to be the very first person who's ever gone to this system. And you may be wondering, well, how could you possibly be the first person? Surely someone else has gone. Well, no, there's 400 billion, and that's billion with a B, systems in this game. And so if the entire player base that has bought this game stopped what they were doing right now, went out exploring, and just continued exploring for, now until, all those systems have been explored. It would likely take on somewhere around the lines of like 20 years for every single planet and star and everything to be tagged by somebody. So that just gives you an idea of how big this game is. Like, it's massive. If you enjoy this kind of thing, explorations, I find it a lot of fun. Every time you jump into a system, it's kind of like getting like a brand new, random thing. Like, it's like the loot drops you get in other games or so forth. It's like, what do I get? What am I going to attach my name to today? That kind of thing. And of course, you want to get the really nice stuff like Earth-like worlds and water worlds and ammonia worlds and terraformables and so forth. But you can't always have that stuff. So, anyways, at this point, I've scanned the system. I'm looking at the system map. And so the system map just gives you a basic idea of what's in the system to start with. So, looking here, it looks like there's a decent number of high metal content planets. These are very likely to be high metal content planets. These are a couple of ice planets. Ice planets are not worth scanning, so I'll probably skip those. There's another good batch of high metal content planets here. These are all fairly close. You can see they're 939 light seconds. So if anything's under, like 4 or 5,000 light seconds, that's usually a good indication that it's worth going to. Not always, it depends. I mean, if you're in a hurry, you may want to skip those. But then if I come down here, you'll notice, and it's a little disappointing because I'd really like to go and tag this particular system here, or this planet here, because this one looks like it might be a terraformable candidate, because it's got an atmosphere and everything. Unfortunately, it's 373,000 light seconds, which would likely take me 20 minutes to fly to, and I'm not going to bore you with that. And besides, I can't afford to do that. I got too many things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan this star, I'm going to scan this binary pair, and I'm going to scan a good handful of these high metal content planets. I may end up skipping quite a few of them, and then just move on to the next system. Because, to be honest, like, A, I need to be making some distance, because I'm way behind everybody right now, and B, I need to... I'm more interested in finding, interesting worlds with rings and Earth-likes and, really cool planets to land on and stuff like that. So right now I'm just going to quickly scan a few things in the system, and then I'm going to move on and just keep going. So we'll head back here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to, first I'm going to highlight the star. Forgot to scan the star. Oop. There we go. Unfortunately, our ship is a little slow at turning, but we'll get it. All right, slow down. All right, there we go. Okay, so as I get my target in view, my detailed surface scanner goes through and does a scan of the target to get us more detailed information about it, so that that information is stored into my computer, and when I get back to civilization, I can turn it all in for a lot of for a decent amount of money. Typically with stars, the only ones that are worth scanning for large money is neutron stars and black holes. Like, that's it. The regular ones, basically what I typically do is I'll go ahead and scan the one that I jump in on, and I'll scan others if I'm going to be scanning planets that are orbiting them, but I'm not going to bother with anything else, typically. Because it's just not worth the time, especially considering I'm in a hurry. Now, if I was not in a hurry and trying to get caught up and everything, I might be a little more thorough in my scans and go through and scan everything in the system. But right now, that's just not it's not worth it to me. So, all right, so we're gonna scan the lock onto the first planet, and we're gonna start heading that way.
Fuel scooping.
Skirt around the star a little bit here.
Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
And I imagine when we get probably around 10 light seconds from this planet, we'll start the scan. Somewhere around there. Maybe a little less. Depends on how big the planet is. Yeah. Ooh, shit. Going too fast. I'm gonna blow past it. Give me a second. not adjust my speed accordingly. Alright, there we go. So we're scanning that planet. And while that planet is scanning, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the next one. And I will target it as soon as the scan finishes. Alright, so that scan finished. Locking on to the next one. Now, unfortunately, because of, you know, again, I'm in such a hurry and so forth, I'm probably not going to get to do a lot of planetary landings right now. I might try to squeeze in a couple here and there, you know, on the stream, especially if I come up with a really cool one. If I find some really good stuff, I want to take pictures and stuff like that. So you might see me line up some stuff for that. But right now, like, my main focus is let's just scan a few things here and there, get my name on, you know, some stuff in the system. As a matter of fact, what I probably will go ahead and do, because I know that scanning even just the planets around this first star, I may just finish that and then head on to the next one, and someone else can tag the other planets. I mean, the thing is when you go out on an exploration run, you're going to be tagging your name on so many things, especially if you stay outside of the highly traveled paths, that there's not really any... It's like, you're going to get your name on a ton of shit, and not only that, but especially on a really long trip like this, you know, where it's going to take me 3 months just to get to the other side of the galaxy, not counting the time it's going to take me to get back, which I'll probably take another roundabout route on the way back. I'll probably make a few $100 million, maybe $500 million on this trip, and so, like, you know, I don't really need to worry about, you know, all this as far as money is concerned. I'm mainly doing it just to get my name on things, because it's kind of cool when somebody else checks out the system and, oh, it was first discovered by ZeroGuardian, or, you know, whatever. And I'm sure we'll run into an occasional system here or there where someone else has discovered it. And you may also see me, even though someone else has previously discovered something, if it's a high-value target, I'll go ahead and scan it again, because it's still worth a lot of money. It's just not worth as much if you're the first person to scan it. If you're the first person to scan it, you get a 50% bonus on top of the normal value of those items. The next one. As soon as the scan completes, target it. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, damn. Yeah, one unfortunate thing is, that's not what I want to do either. There we go. Okay. One unfortunate thing with the system map in the game is it does have to pull its data from the server. So every time you open up the system map, you're essentially, you know, reaching out to the server to get those details again. I'm hoping they put in some kind of caching system into the game so that you don't have to constantly... Again, I didn't adjust my speed properly. I'm not doing a very efficient job of scanning all this stuff. Yeah. Getting a little distracted with the stream and so forth. That's kind of to be expected. So. Alright. So that's scanning. But yeah, so I'm hoping they put in some kind of caching system for the system maps, because right now it's kind of a little frustrating that it has to essentially reload the data every time. But no, this is you know, it's a decent system to get your name tagged on a few things here and there. Like I said, I'll likely end up skipping quite a few things that are in the system. because they're just not worth scanning everything. Like, even these high metal content planets that I'm scanning right now, I'm probably only going to get a few, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 credits per one. I mean, it's not going to be much. They're not really worth that much money. I'd be better off, looking for like Earth-like World or Water World. But, it's still fun to get your name tagged on them. I might be a little picky as we move along, just trying to get some distance. As you can probably tell, exploration is not a quick thing. It's not the most exciting thing in the world to play. I enjoy doing it because I like what you get to see and experience. Elite Dangerous really is all about like being immersed in the game world and discovering all of these things and playing, just playing the game. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy flying the ships around. The ship flight mechanics in the game are just spot on. It's awesome. I love it. If you don't like exploration, you think it's too boring or drawn out and so forth, you don't have to stick to that. That's the beauty of this game, is you really get to play it how you want to. You could go bounty hunting, you could be a pirate, you could do missions, you can go trading, you can do mining, there's power play built into it, and a bunch of other things. And I'm hoping to do some additional videos covering kind of each of those subjects down the road. Alright, I'm going to scan this last system here, or last planet here, excuse me. And then I'm going to move on to the next system. So yeah, I mean, you can really play the game like how you want to. I just love the game. It looks, it looks gorgeous. Heck, even just looking around the ship, the ships are highly detailed, and it's a blast to play. It's so much fun. So many cool and interesting things, and they've really done a good job of giving us enough, simulator features, but not making it like so simulator heavy it's like a flight sim, because some of those flight sims get like super involved, like you gotta take like 15 minutes just to fire up your ship and so forth, and in this game you don't have super complex things like that, but there is a lot of reward learning various aspects of like the flight and the systems and power management and stuff like that, in order to really optimize your ship for doing, combat or whatever you want to do. Which is always neat. Alright, get this last system scanned, and then we'll head on. Next system. Now, for those of you who may not be aware, I use a program called Voice Attack. Voice Attack is a pretty slick piece of software. I really enjoy it. The nice thing about it is it allows you to control various aspects of pretty much any game using your voice. And so all you have to do is set up a voice command. You can do the voice command based off of text-to-speech engines and speech recognition that's built into Windows. Or whatever operating system. I think it supports more than just Windows. I want to say it does. I could be mistaken on that, so don't quote me. Anyway, so you can like, I've manually configured all of the commands for my setup. I did that because I thought it would be fun and I enjoy that kind of thing. But if you don't want to do that, there are websites out there that sell pre-made voice packs for Voice Attack, which will include all sorts of commands pre-made, ready to go. The only thing you have to do is modify them to match your key bindings a little bit, and then you're good to go. And so it's a really slick piece of software. Jump.
Accelerating to warp speed.
And so as you can see there, like I gave it a command, it went ahead and initiated the the jump to for the frameshift drive, and then also gave me a response back. Like I can program those in. Now mine again are just the built-in text-to-speech engine with Windows responding back to me. So it doesn't match up with the system, the computer system in the ship really, really well. Some of the voice packs, which actually have recorded responses, are a little better at that. But it's up to you. I mean, you can do whatever. So we jump into the new system. I'm going to quickly scan the system. Target the star to scan it, and while that's happening, I'm going to pop into the system map. Let's see what we get. Alright, okay, so you can see now it shows first discovered by, and so this system has actually been discovered by another player. And it looks like actually we've got a couple of... this might actually be a pretty nice photo opportunity, because we've got a pair of binary planets here orbiting a gas giant, and then it looks like a water world too. Ooh, that's kind of juicy. It's an interesting world as well. Kind of surprised it doesn't have a wow, that's a massive ice planet too. Alright, so yeah, yeah, kind of surprised that one doesn't have a, surprised it's not landable. It looks like it should be. I'm not sure what that is though. Alright, so we'll go ahead and scan that. I'll probably hit, yeah, I'm probably not going to bother with those, but I am going to head here, and I want to hit at least these two, and I might land really quickly on this one. If there's a good photo opportunity, like if I can see this and the rings on the gas giant from it, then that could be a fun photo. So, yeah. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and select that one first. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab that since it's so close to the star.
Fuel scooping.
Look at that, I can even scan it while I gobble up some fuel, so just kind of leave it here, let it do its scan. I'll fuel up.
Fuel scooping complete.
So get away from that, and then I'm going to jump back into the system map and just target that gas giant really quick.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
The reason I'm doing this is because, unfortunately, I can't tell specifically which planet's which, looking at the menu over there, because it doesn't give me any kind of indications like that, which is a little unfortunate, but, you know, so you have to kind of jump into the system map in order to target something specific. Down this way. See, there's one of the other gas giants, and then that star that had a ring around it. And so that's our target. So that's where we're going to head towards. And I'll scan the gas giant. I'll scan those planets, and then, like I said, if there's a good landing opportunity where I can see the either the atmospheric world from the other planet, then I'll probably go in for a landing really quick just to get a screenshot. If not, then I'll probably just keep going. I don't think any of the worlds over here are going to be terraformable candidates, because I think they're too far from heat sources, but I could be mistaken. One nice thing about going to a gas giant and then scanning its moons is they're all really nice tight clusters, so scanning all of that stuff is actually relatively quick once you get there, so it's pretty nice. A nice little view 2 of Bernard's Loop. A little ways away. It's still see the Witchhead Nebula there in front of it, that little purple thing. One thing I find really cool about this game is, so every star that you're seeing there is actually rendered correctly from the point that we're at. So every time you jump into a system, the star map updates to show what would actually be, you know, what it would actually look like from that system. And so, which makes it really cool, because you've got, you know, every star there is actually one you can technically target and head towards. Now, obviously, some of the fainter ones are going to be several hundred light years out, possibly even a few thousand. But it's still really cool to think about. Alright, so we just got the gas giant. It's class 3. You can see down there in the bottom left. And as we get closer, we will be able to scan some of the planets. That's interesting. I guess one of the planets was really close to this gas giant. Oh, is that big ice planet? That's what it is. Okay, and I don't know about scanning. So we're gonna hit this one first. Hopefully, we get a decent opportunity here for a screenshot. Ooh, the rings look really nice on this planet. Once I get closer, you'll be able to see it a little better. Okay, just got a water world. Nice. Let's hit the next one. Alright, so this is the binary pair. And so I'm actually going to fly in pretty close to these because I want to see kind of their positioning. But as I do it, you should be able to see a little more detail on the gas giant here. You can see it has a really nice concentrated set of ice rings in the center, and then outside of that, it has this really big kind of translucent rocky asteroid belt or ring system. Really pretty looking. Very cool. Alright, so the other one was a high metal content. I don't know which one of these is the one in the atmosphere. So actually, no, the other one would be the one in the atmosphere. So this one should be the landable planet, and it looks like it's in a good position. So I might get away with this. All right. Go too fast. I don't want to go slamming into the planet and have to restart my journey. That would really suck. That'd put me even further behind. See, we've got the high metal content planet right there with the atmosphere and clouds and everything. It's really cool looking. And of course, that way we've got the gas giant. So what I'm going to do is attempt to find a decent location to land here. Kind of in the upper quadrant of this planet, assuming the gravity's not really bad. We'll know here in a second. As I get closer. Man, I love the detail on the planets in this game. It's awesome. I mean, this should also give you an idea of like the scale of things in this game, because these planets are rendered 1-to-1. This planet is actually, you know, very likely several thousand kilometers across, you know, in diameter. Actually, it looks like there's some canyons over here.
Orbital flight engaged.
So we're gonna head towards those, and hopefully we'll get a nice picture out of it. Yeah, gravity's not too bad. It's a little under half a G, so that's pretty nice. Should be easy to land on. canyon inside of the larger canyon structure. Actually, we'll get closer and see. Here as I come down because I want to go into my camera, external camera, and make sure we got a good view of. Oh, that's kind of a shame. The rings are really hard to see, but that's not bad. That's still pretty good. All right, yeah, no, this'll work. All right, let's keep heading down. I used my boost there just so I could get down quicker. I did that mainly because this is a mostly low G world, since it's only half a G. But you would not want to do that normally. That's usually a bad idea. I felt pretty safe considering the distance I was above the planet and everything. So just kind of set it down here in the it's kind of flat terrain area. I just had a really cool idea. I could go into the canyon and then take a picture from within the canyon. Let's do that. And the only downside to that is it's kind of hard to see my ship. Okay, I'm 200 meters out. See if I can find a landing spot down here. It's a little rougher, but I should be able to find one. Yeah, it's the one downside to one of the larger ships like the Anaconda is sometimes it's difficult to see exactly.
Landing gear deployed.
SRV. Oh gosh, dang it. One downside to this game is sometimes the controls like to go screw up on you. Yeah, completely screwed up on me. Wow. Well, that's irritating. I mean, it completely screwed up on me. All right. Give me just a second here. Sorry about this, guys. Hopefully this won't take too long. Alright. Don't need that. Alright, that. And roll axis. And pitch axis. And thrusters. And fire a surge weapon. Ceiling scanner, handbrake, headlights, turret, target ahead. Correctly. One more thing I gotta get working. Oh, the joys of control schemes that like to change. Yeah, unfortunately, what typically happens is, and I just need to try to be a little better about it. If the Xbox controller is off when I fire the game up, then it doesn't think it's connected, and so it changes the controls on me. And so I'll try to in the future make sure that that's not the case. All right, where is head look? That should get us. Yay! Alright, there we go. Alright. Yeah, that's a great picture. Check that out. That's awesome. All right, perfect. Cool. All right. What? Oh my gosh. One more second. Too many controls to remember to configure. There are, like I said, there are ways to avoid all of this. You can go through and, of course, make sure your controllers are on when you do it. Oh wait, is that? No, that's not what I wanted. Oh shit, that's what I wanted. All right, hopefully that didn't screw up stuff. All right, let me double check. Okay, no, that's okay. Apply. Back. See. And now. Yay, there we go. Alright. We're all set again. Hey. Sorry about that. Yeah. Next time I will make sure that the controls are working beforehand. I apologize. I must have just completely forgot to turn that on. All right. So that's part of the purpose behind this trip is to
Landing gear retracted.
Take screenshots, video. I'm going to be doing some video recording on the side in between streams and so forth. So hope you're enjoying it. So we get off of this world. We can head to the next system. So I scanned what I wanted. Out of mass lock. The escape vector.
Engage.
Next system. And it's even close by. I like it. One thing, if you do get the Horizons expansion that allows you to land on planets, be cognizant of how many Gs the planet that you're landing on is. Anything over 3 Gs is going to be very difficult as far as the techniques that you need to make sure you implement. Between 1 and 3, it should be mostly okay as long as you have a decent thrusters on your ship. You've upgraded them a few times. But anything higher than that, you're going to need to be very careful and make sure that you're doing everything properly. Because the G can very quickly turn into your ship just plummeting down to the ground and then, of course, go boom. And that's bad.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Alright, so again, come into the system, scan in the system. 47 objects, it's a pretty good system. Target the sun while that is getting its full scan. Gonna come back over here and pull back. Looks like this is another one that is mostly. Oh, well, that's worth scanning because that may be terraformable. I'm actually kind of surprised here. So, the star and this gas giant and a couple of other planets were tagged by him, but nothing else. That's actually a really pretty gas giant. That looks awesome. It's not too far. I may do a quick flyby of that one because that one just looks really cool. Alright, so we're going to target that. That's worth scanning. Might be a terraformable. So while we're doing that, I'm going to zoom in here and fill up.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Alright. Another planet really close by to that one. Maybe it's the gas giant. That'd be awesome.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
I'm really surprised this planet doesn't have a tag on it. I mean, it's very possible it's not a terraformable candidate, but I mean, it looks like it should be to me. Okay, so that right there is something that some people might not quite grasp what's happening. It didn't look like there was anything around me, but what was actually there was one of the asteroid belt clusters. And so I was close by enough that the gravity from them was affecting my And there's another one. So that slowdown there that you're seeing, that's because I'm running nearby one of the asteroid clusters that are around this star. And so if I slow down just a little bit and pull the system map again, you can kind of see this. So that's what these are here. Those are rings, essentially, of asteroids. It's kind of like the asteroid belt within our solar system. And so there's little clusters of asteroids within that asteroid belt that you can go to and mine on and stuff like that. And so in this case it has 2 rings, and those rings are up, in this case, really close to the star. And so as we were passing by, we managed to get close to a cluster here and close to a cluster here. So it was just by chance that the path that we were going just happened to be that way. And that's what those slowdowns were. It's kind of annoying because you're not always aware of where those are, but one thing that you can do to avoid that entirely is you can do what a lot of people do is they'll do an arc path. So if you if you're looking at my sensor there, as I'm heading to this planet, all the planets are in what's called the elliptical, and it's essentially the orbit of all the planets around the eclipse zone of the star, because the star rotates, and its rotation and the initial formation of the solar system would cause all the planets to rotate in essentially the same direction, and their orbits would go in the same direction. And so because of that, everything is essentially on this plane within the solar system. And so what you can do is rather than going straight along the plane like I just was, you can do a kind of an arc and go over. And you'll avoid most of the gravity wells that way. It's definitely faster, so if you're trying to get somewhere as quickly as possible, that's the fastest route to go. But when things are this close, I usually don't bother. It really doesn't bug me that much when it slows down a little bit. It's big deal, whatever. Okay, so we got that scan. I'm going to bring the system map again, because I want to see if that's a terraformable candidate really quick. It probably isn't, because it's awfully far from the star. Yeah, it's not. So if it was a terraformable candidate, it would say it right here underneath the description. So hopefully we'll find one of those eventually. I'm probably just going to go ahead and move on to the next system. I mean, it's a pretty looking gas giant from here, but I'm not sure it'll necessarily be worth it. So next system. At least got my name tagged on, that terraform or that high metal content planet. I'm cool with that. Jump.
Ludicrous speed engaged.
Now, one thing you'll usually learn this pretty quick, but just in case you haven't played yet, when you're jumping into a system, either during the countdown or after it while you're in here, you want to bring your throttle down. Because when you come out of the system on the other end, if your throttle's up and you just turn around or walk away or anything, you're just diving headlong into the star. And so I always make sure to set my throttle down at the lowest position, because that helps to make sure that I don't dive into the star, die, take heat damage, whatever. And so it's key tip, always make sure you throttle down as you're coming in. Alright, so let's see what this system has in store for us. If this system is also already been tagged by somebody, I may consider dropping down a bit on the galactic plane. Yeah, see it is. That's kind of disappointing. But thankfully, there's not really anything here worth scanning. Gas giants are worth a little bit of money, but unless they have something that's worth scanning around them, I don't typically go for scanning them. So in this case, it's really not worth it. So next system. Now, unfortunately, since I'm in such a rush, I'm just going to go ahead and fuel scoop and continue on my path and not alter my course.
Fuel scooping.
Right now, like I said, if I sacrifice a little bit of actual targeting or scanning targets just to make some distance, no big deal. So I'm just going to basically be looking at each system, and if there's anything really worth
Fuel
scanning,
scooping
I'll do it. Otherwise, probably not.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Jump.
Ludicrous speed engaged.
Another thing, and I'm just doing it because I've learned and I know, but you may not be realizing I'm doing it. So you'll notice I wait a little bit between when I fuel scoop and when I point in at the thing before I initiate my jump. And that's because I'm waiting for the temperature gauge there on the left to increase a bit, because you take a lot of heat when you're fuel scooping, and then when you initiate your jump drive, your heat jumps up by about 15-20 points. So if you're already heated up by the star, and then you initiate your jump immediately after without cooling down first, then you run the potential of running into some heat damage. So, no bueno. So, obviously you want to avoid that. Alright, so another system of 23 objects. We're scanning the star, bring up the system map. Let's take a look. Alright. Yeah, again, it's not really worth scanning all this, because every single one of these is an ice planet, and they've already been discovered by somebody, so it's definitely not worth it for me. So I'm just going to scan the star, fuel up, and head on. Next system. Now, unfortunately, in this case, the next system is slightly
Fuel
behind
scooping.
the star. So I have to fill up and then kind of...
Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scooping complete.
back
Fuel
away from
scoop
the star.
disengaged.
Like I said, I'm letting my temperature go down, so you can see it just dropped from the 60s down to the 30s now. So now it's safe to jump. Jump.
Ludicrous speed engaged.
And as you can see, I like to have some fun with some of the responses that my ship gives me. It's just something I enjoy doing.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Throttling down.
Engage.
To the next system. Let's do it. Do it to it. Scan in the system. 9 discovered objects. Initiate the scan on the star. Let's see what we get. Earth-like world, Earth-like world. Oh, no Earth-likes. That could potentially be a terraformable. I can't tell if that's an ice world or it's a little too dark to be an ice world. It definitely has an atmosphere. Yeah, I don't know if that's terraformable or not. Ooh, that's interesting. We'll go ahead and scan that. Screw it. Just to be on the safe side. I doubt it is. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's probably either just a rocky or ice world with an atmosphere. But you never
Fuel
know.
scooping.
It's always worth giving it a shot.
Fuel scooping complete.
And it's not too far out, so I don't care that much.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Yeah, it's just the rocky ice world. I was afraid of that. Oh well. Next system. Jump.
Accelerating to warp speed.
One thing I really like about exploring in this game is it's kind of relaxing, and it's fun to, you know, just fly the ships around and everything. So if you're into games where you can kind of just chill and enjoy, this is a great option. One thing a lot of people do when they're on these long exploration trips is they'll play the game and they'll also, you know, maybe watch or listen to a podcast or something along the way. That way you just kind of go zen and just enjoy it. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind. What do we got? Give us something good. Yeah, since this has already been scanned, I'm gonna just go ahead and keep going. Next system. Like I said, trying to cover distance right now. That's more important to me.
Fuel scooping.
Tag on some things.
Fuel
This is
scooping
like a really
complete.
juicy thing. I'll probably skip it. Just okay.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Jump.
Ludicrous speed engaged. Oh wow, that's way the heck out there. Damn, I'm not sure I want to go that far. That's a massive gas giant. Or not gas giant, but a ice world. One thing to keep in mind, these are not necessarily to scale, especially stars. Stars are generally much, much smaller, so this is actually a T-Towery star with a ring system around it. So this is actually much, much larger than what is represented here, so don't think that this is actually that close to the star, because it's not. 7,000 for it's probably just a high metal content. It's probably not terraformable. Yeah, that's not worth it. Alright. I'm just gonna keep going. Next system. If that was more obviously like a water world, I'd probably go ahead.
Fuel scooping.
It's not. It's the surface is too rocky. It's got some nice polar ice caps on it, but other than that, it's not.
Fuel scooping complete.
Now, one thing I did cover in my previous episode, but just in case you missed that or you weren't aware, there are only certain types of stars. Now, I haven't run into one yet. Maybe I'll run into one here soon. There's only certain types of stars that you can fuel scoop on.
and they're based off of the class of star. Different classes of stars have different higher concentrations of hydrogen, and then also some of them are more dangerous than others because they emit a lot more radiation and so forth. So the scoopable stars, the easiest way to remember those is to remember the phrase KGB foam. So that's KGB FOAM. And those are the classes of stars that you're able to scoop. And I'll show you where you can see that information here in just a second. So I'll scan it. Alright, so I'm going to let the detailed scan of the star here finish. And then down there at the bottom left, you're going to see, right here, you're going to see what the class of star is once it's finished. So you can see here it's a K star, so yellow-orange star, fairly similar to our star in Sol. So you can see. So this one is part of KGB foam, so it's definitely scoopable. Oh, that's not what I want to do. All right. So open up the system map. Let's see what we get. Oh, jackpot! Ooh, yes. All right, we are scanning these first 4 systems. Screw the rest of them. But these 4 are being scanned. So those may very well be in the Goldilocks zone. Goldilocks zone, for anyone who's not aware, is kind of the fun term that astronomers use for the habitable zone within a system. Of course, referring back to the Goldilocks and the 3 bears. One bed was too hard, one bed too soft, one was just right. Yeah, so the Goldilocks zone is the just right zone. It's the zone where there's just enough heat from the star that you have liquid water, but not enough to where it's overbearing and the stuff evaporates or freezes, or if you're too far away, it freezes. So if a planet lives within that range of star, which of course will change depending on the size of the star, the class of star it is, and various other things, then it's a potential terraformable candidate. Provided, of course, it has liquid water and an atmosphere and stuff like that. So that's why I'm wanting to scan these 3 planets, because these 3 planets are relatively close to the star, kind of like Earth is. But they're not, and the 3 of them had atmospheres, so I'm definitely looking forward to scanning all 4 of those. Because we might get lucky. Hope so. Plus, all 4 of them had not been discovered yet, so it's worth it just for that alone. Alright, hit this. Now, one thing, as I get further out, I may have to go ahead and pull up the system map again, just to be sure, because it's possible that I'll head in one direction out from the star, and there'll be a cluster of planets over there, but then there may be closer planets to the star on the opposite side, but they're further away than other planets that are close to me, so I can't necessarily just go by the first 4 on my list over here, because that list is based off of proximity to me, not proximity to the star. Start scanning any second. There it goes. Content world, which I was pretty sure is what it would be, but let's see if we get lucky. Maybe it's a terraformable. Oh, and see, just like that. I scanned this one, and then the next closest one was this one. So it very well could have been another one. So it's a nitrogen world, and okay, so that one is not terraformable, unfortunately. It's kind of sucks, but you know, hey, it's still worth a decent amount of money for being a high metal content. So the nice thing is though is these two are right next to each other because they're orbiting pair. That's what this little extra line here means. So those will be right next to each other. So this should be pretty easy, and those are a little closer to the stars, so they may have a better chance of being in the Goldilocks zone. So I might get a pair of terraformables here, which would be awesome. Yeah, as you can see here, the those planets are on the other side of the star. So like if I kind of point downwards, you'll see the star is moving up faster than the planets are. That's because the planets are on the opposite side of the star. And this also is, I'm also kind of doing what I was talking about before, where you kind of do an arc. So you kind of dive down and then come back up, or go above and then come back down. And this helps to avoid the gravity well of the star, so I don't slow down as much. If I had flown just right by the star, then my ship would have slowed down considerably heading here, because the frameshift drive is manipulating space. It's literally squeezing space in front of me and expanding it behind me. And when there's a high gravity mass nearby, space is already distorted by the gravity well. And so your frameshift drive has to work harder in those locations, so it can't make you go as fast. And so that's why you end up slowing down when you're going by like a star or a gas giant or even those asteroids, like I was saying before. It's because of the mass that's there that's distorting the space-time in that area. Anyways, that's the explanation on how everything works and why it's impactful and so forth. Whether or not that's actually realistic, it's kind of a toss-up. I can't really say for sure. There's a lot of evidence that says that we should be able to bend space-time ourselves using, potential options out there, like negative energy and stuff like that. I hope that's true. Oh, one of those was an Ammonia World. Nice! Ammonia Worlds are worth a lot of money, so that's good. Alright, so I got first discovery. It's Ammonia World, and maybe one of these is terraformable too. So, alright, so that's our Ammonia World. So come over here, yep, ammonia-based life. It even has this carbon ammonia-based life on it too. Nice. And then this one, damn, it's not terraformable. That's unfortunate. That's alright. It still was worth scanning. These four were definitely worth scanning. Again, I'm skipping these because these are only going to be worth maybe 100 credits each, and it's not worth the time. Like, it's better to just move on and keep going. If I was, again, like I said, if I wasn't in a hurry, I might go ahead and do it just for the completion purposes. But right now, I'd rather just scan that, which is important. And as you saw here, I just got an Ammonia World, which is awesome. Those are worth a lot of money. So, definitely worth the scan. Next system. There it is. Head this way. Jump. Oh. Probably caught on the tail end of my sentence before. Jump.
Ludicrous speed engaged.
There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes with voice attack, if there's any other noise that occurs, like right around the time you're saying it, it loops all that together, and so then your command, even though it's correct, won't match.
4, 3.
That's kind of the only
2,
downside of voice
1. Engage.
Plus, assuming the voice recognition recognizes your voice and what you're saying, someone else could potentially say something and interfere with your game. Hopefully that's not a problem for you, but it's something to do. 6 new objects. And we're just a bunch of ice and rocky bodies, so not worth scanning. So we're going to finish the scan on the planet. It's an M class, so we can definitely fuel scoop. Next system. And I can go to the next system as well.
Fuel
in.
scooping.
The fuel I need. For those of you that are curious about my build out for this trip, if you haven't noticed already, I'm flying the Anaconda. It's fairly easy to tell based off of when I was doing the screenshots and laying out planets and stuff like that. It's one of the larger ships in the game. I chose it because I wanted a ship that was highly versatile and allowed me to have a lot of internal compartments, and it also allowed me to have some high-end versions of different features. Like, for instance, I have the highest available fuel scoop that I can put on this ship, which is a 7A fuel scoop. It's not the largest one in the game. The largest one is an 8A fuel scoop, but that's only equipable on 2 ships. But anyways, the nice thing about 7A, of course, is I'm able to fuel scoop really quickly. Like, I can fill my fuel tank on my ship in about 20 seconds. If I get up to the fastest fuel scoop ratio. I mean, realistically, it'll probably take me 30 seconds. Most of the time you see me here, it's taking like 10 or 15 to fill up. So it's pretty quick. That's one reason why I chose that, is because I don't like to be sitting in the atmosphere of the star for very long, because you build up heat and you have the potential to burn up some of your modules and stuff like that if your heat gets too high. So you just want to be careful with those kind of things. So in this system, it looks like there's only 2 stars. The other star is very likely far away. I'll have to tell you here. Yeah, it's 29,000 light seconds. I'm not going to bother with that. I just want to keep going. So, next system. So this is a G-class star, so I can fuel here. So I'm going to grab that fuel scoop.
Fuel scooping.
Anyways, back to what I was saying on the ship. So I chose this for a number of reasons. A, because it has more internal compartments. I was able to kit it out the way I wanted to. But the other nice thing about using this as a exploration vehicle is it has the largest jump range in the game. This, in its fully, like, the lightest configuration you can make it and still be able to travel around, it can do about 40 light-year jump range. The configuration I have is about 37, roughly around there. So that allows me a lot of fluidity in where I go and how I get there. And then on top of that, I also have quite a few inventory. You'll see I have a very large number of injections for FSD boosts. So I've got almost 30. I'm 1 yttrium away from 30 premium FSD boosts. And I did that for a reason, because when I get to Beagle Point at the end of this trip, I'm wanting to go out further. I want to go out beyond Beagle Point and get my name tagged on a system even farther away from Earth than Beagle Point is. And so to that end, I went through and I made sure I had a lot of the really high-end FSD boosts. And then I have a decent number of the other 2. The nice thing about these 2 is they're relatively easy to get a hold of, so I'm hoping what I can do is, as I travel out, I can I'll find a system that will have a landable planet, and I'll be able to get the materials I need to continue the small boosts, and then be able to do the large boosts only when they're necessary. So hopefully that will work out to my advantage. We'll see. Who knows? I might be unlucky and end up having to use quite a few of the premium ones instead. But it's all kind of it's. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to run into, so it's all very random. As a matter of fact, most of those systems will not even been generated in the game yet, because no one has been there. Because when you're the first person to come into a system, the server's literally generating that system right then and there in order to put it in the game officially. And so, which is one of the reasons why, sometimes you'll get lucky. The RNG involved, you'll find a bunch of Earth-like worlds or whatever. I mean, there's people who have found 3 or 4 Earth-like worlds in a single system. But obviously those are extremely rare.
So again, we've got one other star in the system, but again, it's super long distance away, so I'm not even going to bother. I'm going to scan the star here and move on. Next system. So, fuel scoop.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
And again, I'm waiting for my temperature to go down. Jump.
Hold on to your butt, Commander.
And I go to the next one. I'm actually pretty surprised that I haven't run into any non-scoopable stars thus far.
Engage.
Pretty interesting. Normally you'll run into one like every once in a while. I mean, granted, I've only done like maybe 10 jumps today, so I mean, there's definitely going to be stretches of stars like that where you don't run into those. So again, it's all up to the randomization of stuff in the galaxy. Now, I will say it's not completely random. When Frontier created the background simulation, they actually had it simulate the types of materials that are dispersed throughout the galaxy, and so there are areas where you'll have a higher propensity for certain types of formations. For instance, really close to the core, because of the immense gravity there was a lot more material, and so there's a lot of like neutron stars in that area. As a matter of fact, there's some neutron star fields there that are several thousand light years wide and deep. That you can go through and get a lot of neutron stars, which is a great way to get a lot of exploration experience and make a decent amount of money. So if you're interested in getting your elite ranking for exploration, that's a good way to get it if you just want to get it out of the way. But if you're wanting to just do exploration, sometimes it's better off to head towards like nebulas and stuff like that, because you'll typically get better pictures that way anyways. Which is what a lot of people like about this game. It really is a great wallpaper creator. There's so many cool things in this game to see and do. Alright, what do we got here? So I'm thinking those are ice bodies. Yeah, I don't think any of this is worth. So I'll scan the star really quick, and I'll move on. Next system.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
So as you can see, that 7A fuel scoop allows me to really dive in, just suck up the hydrogen, and just go. So that's one of the reasons why I really like the Anaconda. The other big, really popular option for exploration is the Asp Explorer, which by all means is an excellent option. Like if that's the one you go with, absolutely. Like I understand. The nice thing about the Asp Explorer is it handles a lot better. It's much faster in local space. So when you're landing on planets and so forth, you're able to get around like on the surface a little bit quicker. Because it's just a faster ship. It's a lighter ship, so it's not as impacted by high gravity loads. So if you want to do high gravity landings, it's probably a better option. The downside to the Asp Explorer over the Anaconda is it doesn't have quite the jump range. I think its maximum is about 33, 34. You could probably hit 35 in it if you really made it really light. And then it also doesn't have as many internal compartments as the Anaconda does. So you're going to be a little bit,
restricted in the kit out that you go with. So like you're not gonna be able to just do it high as of a fuel scoop. I think a 5A is the highest one you can put on there. You'll not be able to equip the 4-bay vehicle. Like I have 4 SRVs available in my Anaconda, but that requires a level 6 area or a level 6 internal compartment, and I believe 5s are the highest since the ASP. It's been a little while since I've been in an ASP, so I think that doesn't have a 6A. I could be mistaken on that though. Don't quote me on it. If it does, great. Then you can do that if you wanted to. But if it does, it probably only has 1, maybe 2, and you're probably better off putting your fuel scoop and your AFMU in those slots so that you get larger ones of those. But you could always put in 2 of the smaller ones in order to still get 4 SRVs if you wanted to have that many. To be honest, if you were on just a really short trip, there's no reason to bring 4. But I brought 4 because on these really long trips, I've seen some situations where people have lost SRVs just by accident. Like, you don't even intend to, it just happens. Because, it's a game. You could potentially run into glitches, and when you're talking about, a 3 to 6 month journey, then, even if you only had a glitch a month, you would still potentially lose all 4 of your SRVs, and I'm trying to make sure that I be as careful as possible with that stuff. So that was another benefit of having the Anaconda, is I could do that without worrying too much. Next system. I should probably point this out really quick. So this star looks like it's scoopable because it looks very similar to the other stars. But this is actually a T-Towery star. You can see that over there in the bottom left. And so this is one of those stars that looks like a scoopable, but it is not. So don't just assume that if it looks like a certain type of star, it's scoopable, because it's not always the case. Next system. Hopefully the next one is a scoopable star, because I'll be at around half fuel, and if I'm not able to fuel scoop at half, that's when I start checking my galaxy map to guarantee I'm going to get some fuel. Jump.
Accelerating to warp speed.
So we'll see. Is a scoopable star, but I can't guarantee that until I finish the scan of it. Alright, let's take a look at the system map really quick, see what we got. And again, yeah, we're just looking at a couple of larger ice planets, moons, and a gas giant. So, not really worth expending the energy to do all that. But it is a G-class star, so we can scoop it and head on. Next system. So good, I don't have to worry about altering my route. Which is good, because I don't like doing that if I don't have to.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Heat go down as we get away from the star.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Jump.
Hold on to your butt, Commander.
There we go. Moving. Actually making some pretty good progress. I'm happy with this. Got about 14 jumps so far. It's a good distance.
4,
About
3,
500 light years.
2, 1, engage.
like I said, I'm a bit behind right now. I'm probably about 3 to 5,000 light years behind the majority. So that's kind of unfortunate. But that's just the way it's worked out. And unfortunately, with the emergency I have to take care of this weekend, means I'm still going to be behind. But I'm hoping next week I can spend quite a bit of time in this game and get mostly caught up. So we'll see how that works out. Class, or M class, excuse me. Next system. Next system. There we go. So this is something you might not be aware of. So you notice that it's targeted, and you'll see it's on the opposite side of the star. Well, now it's a dashed line. It's because it's behind the star. I mean, obvious in this case, it's behind the star because it's certainly not in front of it. You know, it's 34 light years away. So that is that's the indicator that shows that it's behind it. And you'll more often notice that when you're near planets and you're going to like either a station orbiting it or a station that's on the planet. Because as you get close, you'll see it switch over to being dashed lines to signify that it's, you know, on the opposite side of the planet. So that makes it a little easier to kind of figure out like where everything is. So because that's on the opposite side, I'm going to kind of head around the horizon of the star.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Away from the star.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Jump.
Accelerating to warp speed.
Probably do need to go through and update my voice type profile a little bit and add some more responses in because I know it tends to repeat a lot of the ones.
1.
Especially
Engage.
Get a little more livelihood. Kind of fun. I might do that with my live stream, or not live stream, but the Let's Play series that I'm doing where I'm playing on that new account. Go through and really customize it out a bit. I think that could be fun. Maybe we can do a little bit of role playing. See how it goes. Next system. So we'll be getting a rash of just stars. Fine.
Fuel scooping.
Nice thing about that is I'm needing to be in a hurry anyways, so that actually
Fuel
helps.
scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
And again, that falls into that whole, you know, they do render in the galaxy the, you know, what should be in each area and in the background simulation, and so that helps to determine the types of systems that appear there. Plus, I believe we might be in one of the gaps right now on the various spirals in the galaxy. So you'll have the spirals kind of branch out and kind of circle around from the center. But there'll be little spaces in between where there's not as much stuff there, because basically all that is in those areas is stuff that is kind of migrated from one arm to the other. Or migrating, I should say. So that would also explain why we're running into that here, because in those areas there's not going to be as much stuff, you know, as much dust and you know, materials and matter. So stars that formed there would not be as likely to have companions.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Several gas giants. A couple. Yeah, once again, they're far enough out that it's probably not worth scanning, and it's mainly just some basic gas giants and some rocky worlds, so I'm not going to really gain much doing that. So I'm just going to scan the star and keep going. Next system. Next system. Dang, computer needs to listen to me better.
Fuel scooping.
It's all good. Like I said, it's probably just getting the tail end of my previous sentence.
Fuel scooping complete.
Computers aren't perfect. They're made by imperfect beings.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Heading to the next system. 12 more jumps until my plotted destination. And again,
4,
there's
3, 2,
hidden asteroids.
1. Engage.
They're not really hidden, it's just I've configured it so that asteroids don't show up on my list of contacts. Because, to be honest, in most cases, you don't care about them. And again, just the start. At least I'm making good progress. Next system.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Jump.
Ludicrous speed engaged.
Four, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Just the star and maybe some asteroids. I don't know. Just another star. And that star's actually not too far away. I may turn around really quick and just scan it. No reason not to.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Nice thing about stars is they can be scanned from a really long distance away. In most cases, 3,000 or 4,000 light seconds. So they're pretty easy to scan if you have one pretty close by. Next system. Jump.
Ludicrous speed engaged.
Four, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
discovered. Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, so he popped in, scanned the, yeah, it looks like none of this is really worth scanning anyways. Next system.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Jump.
Accelerating to warp speed.
Hey, Big Nico, what's going on? Yeah, I'm still doing Distant Worlds. I've had a lot of stuff going on lately.
2,
I'm
1, engage.
I'm hoping to get caught up. I'm way behind. I'm probably 3,000 or 4,000 light years behind everybody right now. So, but unfortunately, I've got another issue come up this weekend, so I probably won't get caught up until next week. But I'm hoping to get on the TeamSpeak a little bit more and so forth at that point. Oh, I just realized I didn't edit the. I didn't edit the title of the stream, so it still shows the starting from scratch one. Oops. All right, yeah, that's something I'll need to fix. Oh, hot dog! Look at that! Look at that! That might be an Earth Lake. It's definitely at least a water world. Oh, we're definitely scanning that. Oh wow, you've been going really quick. You're already near the core? Holy crap.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Could be mistaken, but I think that was the second system. I think we... Yes, good. Alright, perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Alright. Next, that one. Ugh, no bitch.
this one I'm going to get in for a close-up because it's either a water world or an Earth-like, and it's unexplored, undiscovered, so I definitely want to get a close-up of this. It's a water world. All right, yeah, that's not bad. Definitely worth the trip. So let's take a quick flyby of this one. The way planets and so forth look in this game. It's just awesome. Is a big boat. It's the one downside to the Anaconda. It doesn't handle very, very well. Kind of slow to turn. There we go. Alright, let's do this. Yoink. Yeah. You see a hurricane there. Ugh. Yeah. Unfortunately, right now, I think most of like the weather and so forth on the planets is, I think it's just static right now. That's something they're supposed to be updating eventually in the game, is for the weather to be actually dynamic on planets. So like the actual visuals of the planet will change as well, which I can't wait for. I think that'll be really cool. Next system. Let's do it. Jump.
Accelerating to warp speed.
Four, three, two, one, engage.
I still have not found an Earth-like world on this trip yet, which is kind of disappointing. I found several water worlds and I think 2 Ammonia Worlds. Didn't find the other one. But yeah. But yeah, this is how the game works, man. I mean, this is how exploration works. It's, you know, like I said, it may not be the most exciting thing forever, you know, in any game ever, but I really enjoy it. Like I said, I find it kind of relaxing and fun, and I've always been a big astronomer, so being able to do all this and see, like, nebula up close and land on planets, it's like a dream come true for me. I love this shit. But yeah, so like I said, you know, I hope you've enjoyed everything. If you're interested in exploration, I highly recommend you watch the previous stream I did. It was all about like how exploration works, and I explained, you know, like what I'm doing each step of the way, and also went over the UI and like how to tell various different things, and also provided showed you an image that kind of gave you an idea of like what different types of worlds are worth and stuff along those lines. So, you know, definitely check that out. And if you've never played Elite Dangerous before, you know, check out the stream I did on this past Saturday. That'll also be put up on our YouTube channel, which is just Space Potatoes on YouTube. And that was all about starting from scratch. That's a second account that I have on Elite Dangerous, and you know, so started with the Sidewinder, and you know, just, you know, starting out from the bare essentials and kind of working your way up, and you know, even within just those first 2 hours, I was already up to almost 300,000 credits, which is enough to buy a pretty decent starter ship. So
or a slight upgrade from the starter ship, I should say. So yeah, if you're interested in that, definitely check those out. And of course, don't forget to check out the forums. Forums.spacepotatoes.com. It's right there. And on the forums, like I said, we have our regularly scheduled game nights. We play a different game every Friday. This Friday, we're going to be playing Witcher board game, which is a lot of fun. If you've never played that, it's a lot of fun. I unfortunately probably won't be able to attend that because of the having to head out of town. But yeah. And typically, unfortunately, this is the first week I'm having to redo the schedule already. I'm second week into the year of doing this, and I'm already having to change my schedule up. Or third week, I think. Yeah. No, it is second week. I'm going brain dead. So yeah, typically I do these streams every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. and every Friday at 2 p.m. And then occasionally I'll do a Saturday episode. Saturday will typically be around 2 p.m. as well. We'll pick I've got a huge list of games that I have on my Steam account that I'm trying to play through. So if you're interested in checking any of those out, head to the forums. I've got the full list of games that I'm going to be playing there. As I get games scheduled, the schedule will be updated on the forums. There'll be separate threads for each game, and I'll post my thoughts and comments on there. The videos are all uploaded to YouTube, so you can always check them again after the fact, or watch them afterwards if you missed them. And so it's a ton of fun. It's a really good group of people and everything on the forums. It's all about gaming, and most of the people there are casual gamers that play games on a fairly regular basis. Nobody's super hardcore, so it's not a really hardcore community or anything. But yeah, you should check it out. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. That was Elite Dangerous. This is the third episode of the Distant World stream. And everything's been going pretty well. Like I said, I'm a little behind. I'm hoping to do some catch up. A lot of it will probably be off stream. And next week I may skip doing a stream of Distant World so that I can fit in another game as well. But if you do have any questions, when I am streaming it, feel free to hit me up. And of course, feel free to hit up the forums. I'm willing to answer questions there as well. So, anyways, this is ZeroGuardian. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.